Todd from Table Ready Painting. I'm so glad to see you guys, and I'm incredibly glad to be here tonight. I know that um, it's been a tough couple weeks, and I'm just going to throw that out there right now. Um, so, anybody that has been missing me and been looking forward to hearing from me, let me just do a quick explanation of everything that's happened in the last couple weeks. First off, I decided to take 2 weeks off because Christmas was on a Thursday night, and then New Year's Day was on a Thursday night. And I was hoping to get a New Year's Day one in, but to be honest with you, we had a lot going on as far as stuff in the family. So we actually spent some time playing games and stuff like that for New Year's, and we had a blast. And I'll get into that a little bit when we get a little further in. So I didn't end up doing a New Year's Eve or a New Year's Day one. But that was okay because, it was a holiday and I wasn't sure what was going to happen. So last week I came home from work and, well, let's just start with I went to work. I felt okay when I went to work. I woke up with like a headache in the morning and didn't feel quite right, but really not that bad. By the time I got home from work, I came home. I told everybody I didn't feel good. I went to bed and I woke up Friday morning. So I have had the flu or some semblance thereof for the better part of the week. So I was really in no shape. I even thought, I didn't get a chance to do it Thursday. Maybe I'd get a chance to double back, do a Saturday or Sunday recording. And to be honest with you, on Sunday when we did Lake Clan Legends, I still felt terrible. So I was better, not a lot better, but I was better than I was on Thursday. So, and you will still hear it if you're paying attention. And to be honest with you, I'm going to take a sip from every now and again because I don't know that I'd make it through the whole video. In fact, I'm going to take one now just because I mentioned it. And now my throat's like, I'm going to choke you to death. So forgive me for that. I just wanted to get a little drink and we'll keep that out of the way. So yeah, so that's been a good portion of my 2026 so far. There's a couple of things that I have gotten a chance to do and to play with. So the boys both got Christmas money when we decided to go out and do some spending of that Christmas money the weekend after Christmas. We went down to one of the local shops around here, Rubicon Games in Quakertown. They have such a fantastic store down there. And to be honest with you, I was like, it's the middle of the day, it's a Friday. Actually, you're right. Now that I think about it, it was a Friday afternoon. I'm like, I'm just gonna pop in there Friday afternoon at like I think it was 3 o'clock. There's not going to be anybody in there. I'll just dive in, grab the stuff, let them pick out stuff that they want because they got a mad haul of money that they just decided to want to spend on Warhammer. So we jumped in, and there was a good amount of people there for a Friday afternoon. I left my phone in the car, so I didn't take any pictures or anything like that. Excuse me. But we had a really good time. I talked to a bunch of people. My wife was in the car, so we didn't hang out quite as long as I wanted to, or we would have normally, but that was okay too. We also ended up going to Barnes and Noble. I picked up just the Sorcerer's box set for the Thousand Suns. That's all I was kind of looking for. I wasn't doing some serious shopping for me. I actually have 2025 as far as purchasing miniatures has exceeded my painting miniatures, and which is the first time in a couple years that that's actually happened. So I need to work on painting miniatures more than I need acquiring miniatures. In fact, there's quite a few that I really need to get working on, because I want to include them in some of the armies that I'm going to be playing in the next couple weeks, couple months, stuff like that. Um, we also, and I know you can't tell from this angle, but we cleaned this basement, our whole area. So we are actually about 10 minutes from setting up a game at any given point in time. That is going to improve our availability to play games, just get models on the table, stuff like that, to do more things. And if what they're saying is true, that we have an 11th edition coming out soon, um, which I guess before I do that, before I say what I'm going to say, let's jump back. Tomorrow, this is Thursday night. As of tomorrow, there's going to be a Warhammer preview. Whatever they may happen to release tomorrow, I think I'm gonna try and get a video in this weekend just to kind of go over what was said, what they did, stuff like that. Um, Unfortunately, it's like 2:30 in the afternoon here for me. So I think when they're doing it, if I understand correctly, which means I'm gonna be at work. So I can't do a live stream. But I think what I might do is try to shut it all down and do a responding reacting video. Aha, I know words. A reacting video. But um, if I can try to do that, there's a lot of information that gets out, and because of the people in my circles, not a lot of people stay quiet for me to just be like, oh, you know, let me react to this when I get a chance to. So I'm going to try my best. If I don't get a chance to, we'll talk about it. See if I can get a video in over the weekend, and we'll talk about that and get that on here so that we can have a discussion about that. Maybe Saturday night, maybe Sunday, something like that. And we'll get on there and we'll talk about that. So, that being said, if what they're talking about for an 11th edition, if there's all the rumors are true and all the stuff like that, an 11th edition is coming out summertime, which I have no information on. I'm just hoping for whatever it is, it's nice, easy transition. But whatever it is, if there's going to be a rules update or something like that coming up, I'm going to put it down now. When we get the book, we're going to go over it all. We're going to do step by step. I'm going to do a how-to, movements, shooting, so on and so forth. We'll do sections, maybe short little 10-minute videos, something like that, just enough to kind of get the gameplay going. That being said, where this came from was when we went shopping on that one day, we picked up the rules, the current um, beginner box for Kill Team. Sorry, nose itches. So we picked up the newest beginner box for Kill Team. Logan and I think, have done all the missions except one, maybe two, that are in the box, and we're all excited about playing that as well. Again, that's another reason we're going to keep the table up, keep everything flowing. We're going to be able to just drop models on the table, drop some terrain, drop some models, start playing. Okay. With that, and I let me just extend you some of the stuff that has happened other than being sick. Logan comes down here and paints, and he broke the chair on me. so I have something else to fix now. Um, so that's just the arm of the chair that I'm sitting on. So I have one arm, but not the other. So I have been disarmed. So enough of that. So we're gonna take care of that. We might try. We're probably gonna do some videos of kill teams, stuff like that. And I'm gonna try to get more involved in the audio editing and stuff like that, so that I can create videos, mix them up, put a little bit higher quality, not everything streaming kind of quality in here. Um, I'm gonna do a lot more work as far as getting this stuff cleaner, nicer, more capable, and more professional looking this year. This year, I'm working on the podcasts, I'm working on the YouTube channels, and we're going to go get as much quality improvements this year over just trying to get it done. Um, so that's my promise to you guys. I'm going to jump out there and say, by this time next year, we're going to have a whole new channel. We're going to have shinier things. We'll have end scenes, opening scenes, maybe some theme music or something like that. I don't know. We're just playing with some ideas. So, with all that going on, and like I said, I want to try to make those better videos. But what we're also going to be doing is, my wife, of course, is a driving force in everything that I do. And she also is a driving force in everything that the kids do. So now that um, Logan is getting more into it, and he's doing such an amazing job painting miniatures and stuff like that. She actually asked, when are you going to take him to a tournament? And to be honest with you, like, I haven't been to a tournament since they were little, because, yeah, dad first, then gamer, then podcaster, then, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's the priority levels of everything that needs to get done. And with everything that goes on in life, sometimes just day job, kids, wife, house, duty, chores, everything ends up being a lot sometimes. And this is kind of my shout out that, I need to realize that um, sometimes we take life too seriously, and it's a lot. And you really need to take a step back and realize, like, you got to take a break. You got to do things for you. You got to make yourself happy. You got to make you one of the top priorities, if not the top priority in your life. Um, so just to keep that in mind for everyone, I need to tell myself that from time to time. And here comes the cat that's going to make noise. So if you were missing cat noises in this video, here they come. Now she's quiet. Okay, so obviously I'm not planning anything right tonight. So the one thing that I wanted to talk about is, if I'm going to get Logan up to speed, and myself included, um, to play a tournament. And I'm not talking, we're not going to LVO, we're not going to any huge gaming convention anytime soon, Atlantic City, or Nova, or anything like that. I don't have that kind of aspirations, especially Logan's really on his first year here, maybe second, as far as really having any interest in Warhammer. I'm going to be stepping back into it. We do have 2 local shops in the area that run tournaments on a fairly regular basis. And to be honest with you, there's probably 10 more stores that are within an hour to an hour to an hour and a half drive range where they also do tournaments that we could get involved in. Um, so I think that's where we're going to start. And um, Mike, if you're Mike from Green Dice, if you're listening, we're probably not going to make the winter ruin, but we're probably going to get into the next one. That's hopes. So prepare for a couple extra people at your next event. Hopefully, the crew up there is really good. I think we're going to try and stop in this weekend if everything goes well and the wintry weather mix stays away, or next weekend if the wintry mix and weather stays away. It's January in Pennsylvania. The weather's up to, it's between God and nature, and sometimes I don't know who's going to win. So let's just say if it's nice enough that we can go, we're going to go. If it's not, then we'll make arrangements to go another day. They do have, and this is what Logan's really interested in at this point, is he's got about $100 of his Christmas money burning a hole in his pocket, and he wants to hit the mech shop. The mech shop up there is all used bits, miniatures, boxes, stuff like that. You will, if you do remember, I bought that Valorland Strike box for $200. The box was open, but everything was in it, so it was actually an incredible deal. In fact, Logan was the one that talked me into buying it, because the single night by itself is $165 or whatever it was at the time, and then the 2 sets of armigers at $90 a piece. I mean, it practically paid for the night, the big night, for free just by buying the little ones. I'm not gonna argue it. It was a good box. I really need to work on painting it, but again, it's been a rough year for trying to get stuff organized and together, and we're going to try and change that this year. We're going to try to change that with everything we got. So things that I want to do to get Logan organized and ready for a tournament. I put a couple thoughts into this, and I'm going to use my example here. I have the Astra Militarum. I don't know that I'm going to run them in a tournament quite yet, though they wouldn't be terrible. They're just not. I don't know. Maybe I will. We'll see. But anyway, my recommendation is the first thing you want to do when prepping, whatever army that you got, figure out your baseline list. And if you want some advice with whatever army that you're checking out, or you want to play with right now, I could take credit and steal all the information, but I'm going to be honest with you. Go to Vanguard Tactics. They're doing on YouTube. They're doing a fantastic job picking the top 3 or top 4, top 8 units that you're going to want for any specific faction. They have a whole series of it right now. If you're interested, please go check them out. I can't even take credit for something like that. They're just doing an amazing job. So check them out. They'll give you all the information you need. I could actually put a link in the description if you really want. I know not a lot of YouTubers would be like, oh yeah, go check out these people, so that they'll tell you everything that I could tell you, and so you could watch them instead of me. But you know what? They do such a great job. I watch it, so I can't give you any better information. So if that's you have an army that you want to play, you want to check out what is the best units for your faction right now, that's just a fantastic resource. Um, like I said, I just can't recreate that. And I don't do enough tournaments right now to make the specific call for that either. So, um, yes, I could do the same thing that they did and pick out all the units from all the winning GTs and stuff and scurry us, go through all the lists and pick out the best units. They got a team to do it. It would take me days to do each faction and then to put it together and then record it and everything else. I don't have that kind of time. So please, honestly, go check them out. They do a fantastic job. They really, really did. Um, I don't think they're done yet. So, but I would go check it out. Um, but the things that you really do need to do, if you are going to do a tournament and you're going to play like a certain faction for the next couple tournaments, which is always a great way to do that because you can get really familiar with whatever army that you're going to be playing. Pick your army, know the rules inside and out, especially the ones that are really important. Um, your army rule, your detachment rule, everything like that, or um, find a way to take notes so you don't forget it. I mean, a tablet is your best friend. It really is. Excuse me. You can really get a lot of information on a single page of tablet paper, um, or you know, print out your army lists like so. Make it look like the detachments or the data sheets from the books. If you can do that, you can save yourself a lot of trouble. All the rules are like on these, all the rules are there. Um, for example, Acadian shock troopers, and then it has each trooper with each weapon, so you can just go straight down the list. It has all their abilities, the unit composition, and any special rules like the Voxcaster or if you got a medic or something like that. Um, it's great to have those papers just there and available. And anytime that you do play, you want to get as familiar with the units that you're going to use the most of so that you don't need to look at the sheet. So that when you look up, you can be like, oh, I hit on a 4 with my lasgun. With one shot, so on and so forth. It's strength 3, it's -0, it's, so on and so forth. This is the best way to keep track of everything that you got going on so that you can play your tournament and not be stressed about your data while you're playing, because every little thing that you can take off of your mental uh memory and stuff like that. Sorry, cat showed up. See, cat. Hi, cat. Yes, hi, Mando. That's my little Mando. Um, he's anything that you can take off of your brain so that you know it right off the top of your head without looking at it. Um, the more stuff that you have committed specifically, and the more things that work the same way, is a lot of mental fatigue that's taken off your plate during the tournament, because you want to be able to make those decisions. What does my unit do? Is it safe to put them on this objective? Is it better to put them in hiding? Is it better to do this? Is it better to do that? You need to really understand how these units work for you, um, and where to put them properly. Stay. Sorry. So that's the best thing. And everything that you, like I said, everything that you can put on paper, so you don't have to open that book. Trust me, I like the book. I like being able to look at the rules specifically. The other is the phone. I mean, if you can look at your phone and be like, oh, the problem is interaction, because I'm going to tell you, anytime I'm standing across the table and there's somebody, the whole time I'm like, this guy doesn't even care about playing with me. He may be looking up all his rules. He may be responding to his girlfriend or significant other. Um, he might be ordering lunch. I don't know, but I just know that I'm trying to. I always like to try to tell people what I'm doing so that they're involved. This way, when it comes to their turn, when it comes to my shooting, when it comes to charging, everything is deliberate and everybody understands what's going on so that there's no questions, there's no going back on what's going on. So, one of the things that I will always do is I try to move units. And then if I plan on charging, I will take the tape measure, go from that unit and say, I need 8. They are currently 8 inches away. I'm going to need an 8 to charge into close combat with it. So I like to be very deliberate. My cat's deciding to wreck the basement here. Um, so I like to be very deliberate as to what's going on, just so that anybody that is watching can pay attention, and they know what's going on. I like to talk through everything that's going on in my turn, which is always a big help. And again, like it eliminates a lot of extra questions when it comes to your shoot phase, your charge phase, so on and so forth. Because if you move, let's say you move your Cadian squad, you measure, you're 11 inches away from the units you want to shoot. When you go to shoot, you can just pick up the dice. I'm in rapid fire range, drop the dice. If you've already said that you are, it's all handled. So that's a couple of the things that I like to do to try to be very specific. Always have your army list with you so that there's no discrepancies as to what you have in. And when you pack up your models, what I always try to do is I try to pack everything a day or two ahead of time, make sure that everything's in the box, everything's packed up, nobody touches anything. Something like guardsmen or intercessors or something like that, I tend to throw an extra model in there just in case, because you never know when you're like, oh, I must have lost this guy, or I dropped this guy and lost his bolter, or something like that. Um, it's nice to have that backup guy in there just in case you lose a piece, you can't find the guy. God forbid you leave him at a table and nobody seems to have seen him, something like that. Obviously, you can't have a backup for every model. Just the basic ones is what I always do. Um, Other than that, I mean, the biggest thing after that is you got to practice your games. Find your army, practice, 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 practice. And what's the worst thing about practicing is you're going to play the same army over and over, and you're going to get used to it. And it's going to get easier. Um, so the more you practice with your army, the better you're going to get with it. The more you know you're going to be able to push certain units to do certain things, you're going to understand what this certain ability is and how to get the most out of it instead of just, oh, well, they have sticky objectives. No, if you got something that's better than that, you can kind of drop it in and utilize it better, when you once you know those rules inside and out. So, and try to, when you're doing these practice games, if you can, do your practice games not only against something that you know you're going to play against, like Ultramarines. I don't know, whatever. If you know you're going to play against like a certain Ultramarine list because it's what's in the meta, make sure to try and play against that and see how you can do against it. If you think that if you know that there's 3 Death Guard players in the tournament that you're going to be playing. You want to make sure that you try and play against some Death Guards so you know what you're up against, so you're not blindsided by one of their rules or one of their abilities that you don't know what it does. So, and I know there's a lot of books and a lot of factions and a lot of armies out there, and there's a lot of different play styles for each army. You can't know it all. Just remember, you can't. And when you go to your first tournament, just realize if you win a game, you did good. You're probably not going to win the tournament. There's people that have been playing those tournaments for a long time. Even at a smaller 8-person GT, there's probably 2 or 3 guys that play there at almost every tournament, and they either clean up or they fight amongst themselves at the end, and that's fine too. I mean, just to be a part and learn from whoever you're playing against. So if somebody brings something that you've never seen before, watch what they do so that you can learn. So when you play them next time or play something similar to that next time, you can kind of jump in there and be like, oh, I fought this before. I know how to beat this now. So first time is always a learning experience. Always a learning experience. You're never going to get it exactly right on the first go. And if you do, God bless you. I'm not a religious man, but God bless you. If you can get a winning thing right first time, dear Lord, good job. Good job. So that's about it. I mean, like I said, we got a lot of stuff coming up in 2026 here. We're going to move forward with, we're going to finish the Combat Patrol 2 Crusade lists. I think that I've only got like 6 of them left to do. So next couple weeks, we're going to finish those up. I know not only have I been dragging my feet, but there were a couple new ones that I had to address. And so we did redo some of them. If you want, there's a couple more that we can throw in there. And to be honest with you, I was considering throwing a quick episode up again, maybe this weekend, maybe not. Those beautiful Chaos God battle boxes that they put out. Just a quick shout out here. If you put those with the combat patrols, they're really good combination. All 4 of them, but that's something we can get into at another time. Other than that, I think I'm going to sign off for tonight. I think we got everything covered, and I appreciate everybody that stayed and watched, and anybody that's going to watch or listen to a podcast. I really appreciate everybody hanging out and checking in on me and stuff like that. And so I want to thank everybody for coming. And this is Todd from Table Ready Painting, and we're here to help you get you and your models table ready. Hey, thanks for watching, and have a great night.